Hi, this is Stuart Talley. I'm the partner here responsible for the Stryker Rejuvenate and ABG2 litigation. The reason I'm doing this video today is to provide an update on the status of the litigation and to report what occurred at our monthly status conference that occurred in Minneapolis last week on May 1st, 2014. At the status conference, the judge reported to us on his efforts to reach out to other judges around the country who have Stryker cases in an effort to coordinate with those judges. There are state courts in Florida and New Jersey and Oregon where there are a few Stryker cases that are pending in those jurisdictions, and the judge is trying to coordinate with those jurisdictions in order to avoid excess cost or delay in the prosecution of these cases. The other thing that the judge discussed, and which was brought up to him, was the sort of the overall schedule of the litigation. Trials are supposed to begin in the summer of 2015. And there's been a big issue with respect to discovery and the production of documents. At this point, we've obtained about 1 million pages of documents from Stryker, but it really is just a small portion of the number of documents we expect will need to be produced. Stryker has been trying to delay the production of documents or slowly roll them out, and the problem with that often is defendants will typically when they roll out the production of documents, the very good documents, the smoking guns, the documents that the plaintiffs really want to see, for some reason they always seem to get rolled out at the very end of the process. So Stryker had a plan to produce documents where we weren't going to be receiving all the documents until the end of 2014. We recently received an order that those documents will now have to be produced by no later than July of this year. So we will have all of the documents by this summer. At least we hope we will. So that was an issue that was addressed. The other issue that was addressed was essentially the parties fight over the production of electronic documents. All documents, almost all documents, are at some point prepared on a computer. We received an order from the judge previously that Stryker was required to identify actual electronic files for documents that they had produced in hard copy. So there's a lot of documents, regulatory documents, that Stryker gave us where they just gave us the hard copy of the file, and what we wanted was the actual electronic file so that we can see who touched that document, who edited it, when it was created. All that kind of information is obtained when you have the electronic version of the document. So the judge ordered Stryker to find the electronic files for the hard copy documents that had been produced. Stryker was not happy with that and said that it was extremely difficult and time consuming for them to do that, and tried to get relief from the judge's previous order. The judge did not seem to be too happy with that request, but he will rule on it eventually. So we'll find out more later, probably sometime this week, as to whether he's going to amend his previous order. The other thing he talked about, or that was addressed during the status conference, was a request, and it's somewhat of a unique request, where Stryker wants to be able to speak to the treating surgeons who treated many of the individuals who have cases now pending before the court in Minnesota. So for example, there are a few surgeons who put in a whole bunch of Stryker Rejuvenate hips. Many of those patients that had those hips now have pending lawsuits against Stryker, and what Stryker wants to do is talk to the surgeon who put the hip in. For several people who have cases pending against Stryker, and they want to talk to them without the plaintiff's attorneys present and without the actual patient knowing about it. And we have very strong objections to that. There are numerous laws in many states that prevent surgeons or doctors from disclosing any kind of private information about a patient to a third party. And so we have lots of concerns with Stryker talking to our clients, doctors, without us being there and without us knowing what the doctor is saying. Stryker's response to that, which has some validity, is that Stryker wants to hire experts to help defend the case. And unfortunately, some of the best experts are the doctors who actually put these hips in people. And so if they're prevented from talking to the surgeons who put the hips in people, then they'll be prevented from hiring experts to help with the case. So we've been working with Stryker to try and reach a compromise where they are able to talk to a certain number of surgeons, not all the surgeons, but some of the surgeons. We're trying to put in place protection so that those surgeons, if they are spoken to by Stryker, don't disclose any kind of personal or private information about their patients. And so that's a big issue that everybody's working through. And I think at some point the judge is going to issue an order probably later this week on that issue. So there'll be very strict rules with respect to who Stryker can talk to and what kinds of information those doctors can reveal to Stryker down the road. The final thing that was addressed was, which comes up at all these monthly status conferences, is the issue of settlement. Our judge has been very vocal with respect to desiring some type of global settlement process. There has been some settlements that have occurred on a confidential basis. Very few cases have been settled, somewhere around 10 or 15 cases at this point. No one knows for how much. No one knows what the circumstances were of those cases, so we don't know if they were good cases or bad cases. And so the judge has been trying very hard to get the parties to sit down and come up with a global, open, transparent settlement process. There is a meeting that's supposed to happen in June where the parties will try to talk about settlement and figure out if there is a way to come up with some road towards settlement going forward. Once we get any kind of information on that, we will definitely let everybody know. So that's basically what happened at the status conference. We have another one on June 12th next month. We will be there. We will provide another update, and